They got Malusis tonight after Yankees and Mets. They handled that well. He's a Yankee fan, so if they lose, he'll be upset. And, of course, the Yankees 2-1 down. We're trying to track down the big guy. I've not heard from him yet. I got more set for opening day next year at Pac-Bell. As we get ready here to enjoy those 2 season tickets after Kenny Rogers shut the Yankees down last night. Good to have you with us. Been on for an hour already this morning at 718-937-6666. Other baseball today, you know what's going on with the Cardinals and Padres at 1. Young will pitch against Suppan. Young has been very good on the road for the last couple seasons. We'll see. Cardinals with 2 wins in San Diego. Padres can't score at home. Piazza probably will play today. Keep an eye on that. But all eyes will be in Detroit, where the Tigers, the young, feisty Tigers, will go out there and try to put the Yankees to sleep again and knock them out and make them a total bust. I'll tell you one thing the Tiger win will do tonight. I won't go to church tomorrow because I'll listen to the big guy at 9:05. Good morning, Michael. How are you today?
What's going on? What did I miss?
What did you miss? What did you miss, big guy?
I went out. Can you give me a heads up on the ball game? I didn't see it.
Heads up on the ball game. Mike, first off, the Giants open up next year with San Diego.
Let me tell you this, Doug. I will be a man of my word, and I guarantee that you and Dennis will be there for all 31 of the Giants' home wins next year.
Oh, Mike, well, let me hear your overall theme about the third game. Go ahead.
No, this was not a game. This unfolded as a baseball nightmare, starring Rogers. I mean, that was Kenny Rogers on the mound last night. I don't know who that was, but having seen Kenny Rogers close up many times in big spots, I don't know who that guy was last night, but that was not Kenny Rogers. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Whitey Ford, I don't know who it was on the mound last night, but that was an unbelievable performance.
All right, how much do you put it on Rogers, and how much do you put it on the Yankee offense?
Listen, I think early on, I put a lot of it on the Yankee offense. I thought as the game went on, Rogers just came up with this absolutely amazing curveball. I mean, his curveball got better and better as the game went on, and he threw to Matsui, to Giambi, to Damon, to Bernie on the last at bat. He threw some unbelievable curveballs, and I never saw anybody be more feisty on the mound in a long time as he was. So he gets all the credit in the world. I'll tell you right now, I would have believed anything possible rather than Kenny Rogers ever pitching that game in the park. You could have given me 200 pitches. I would have picked over Kenny Rogers to pitch that game.
I agree with all that, but I'm surprised you're not a little more down on the Yankee offense.
I think the Yankee offense has absolutely gone to sleep. I got in the car about 5 minutes before 10. I heard Mike and Montclair. You guys lost. Playing the song for Ernie Williams is 3 at-bats now. I mean, give me a break, huh? So we could put Sheffield and Giambi in it. They go 1 for 18 in a series apiece, but let's blame it all on Bernie's 3 at-bats last night. I mean, give me a... First of all, he hits a line drive his first time up that's caught. Secondly, he's the only guy who came within an inch of changing the game last night. That ball hits a foul pole. We're going to have a different conversation this morning.
Yeah,
you know that?
Yeah, you know what, though, Mike? You know how baseball goes. It didn't, so it's an out. That's the bottom line.
I understand that, but what am I saying is that, you know what, it wasn't like he didn't have any oomph in any of his at-bats last night. Other than Posada had good at-bats all night. Other than that...
Well, Jeter had good at-bats, too, I thought.
Who did?
Jeter. He had the double. He had the line drive back to the mound. I thought Jeter was okay.
I expect Jeter to be okay most games, but I thought Posada swung the bat well. I thought other than that, they swung the bat atrociously. Nothing right. I mean, I still thought into the 5th inning that they would get him. They didn't get him. The Yankees are asleep. I mean, they look asleep. I mean, they look down. I really think, listen, I think they're going to have to score runs to win. I think obviously the Tigers now are, believing. Why wouldn't you believe now after yesterday? I mean, they're going to face, they beat Randy Johnson. They're going to face, Wright. I mean, so they have a chance to do the first Wright. And the best thing you can ever get from Wright is a good 5 innings. So you're going to be in the bullpen in the 6th inning on a good day. So I think the Yankees got their work cut out for them. Now, I'll say this, Doug. I still think the Yankees will win today. And I think they'll hit I heard you say Cabrera. I'd give Cabrera a chance. Giambi looks shaky. I'd put Matsui at DH and let Sheffield play. But you know what? I want to see Sheffield get some hits. I don't want to see Sheffield 1 for 12 after today in the series either, and then hear about how he has to play every damn game either. I'm sick of him. He plays first base. They let him get a hit once in a while too. Okay, it's all about furnishing the plate. Sheffield's 1 for 8. He's 8 for his last 41 in the post. He's got 1 RBI during that time. How about he gets some damn hits in these games?
I agree. Now listen, though, the Yankee. I know he wasn't great. But I can't believe how bad the Yankee defense was in that third inning. I mean, Cano, can you freaking dive for a ground ball? I mean, Giambi can't make a pickoff throw to second base. I mean, a Yankee defense in that third. No, I know Johnson wasn't great, but he deserved better in that third inning. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. I'll tell you right now, ESPN can't get rid of these games fast enough. If I had to spend I don't know what was worse, 7 2/3 out of Kenny Rogers, or 2 innings out of Ernie Harwell. If I had to listen to him for 1 more minute yesterday, reminisce about the 40 Tigers, I was going to throw up. You know that?
I liked it, to be honest with you. You didn't like that?
We're going to watch the game here. He's crashing, burning. I'm hearing, well, Ernie, tell us about the 67 Tigers.
Did you have a major problem at the play at third base? Because Pudge was out. Did you have a major problem with that call?
Dog, I honestly admit that, and here's my other knock.
No, he was out. He was out.
Yes, the camera angle, I couldn't tell if he was out or not.
Oh, I thought he was definitely out. I really did.
I'm not going to yell about it because I'm telling you honestly, I couldn't tell if the dog got in or not. I really couldn't tell. We never got a good camera angle all night. All we had to do was spend 3 innings with Ernie Harwell about his stupid overcoat.
Right now, so you play Cabrera in left. You would take Giambi out of the lineup. And you would play at first base Sheffield. Is that what you would do tonight?
I would play Sheffield because Giambi looked very shaky at first base. Plus, I think Giambi's hurt, so I would play Sheffield. I would play Murti in left. I'd play Matsui at DH, and hopefully somebody can get a hit. I'll tell you this, dog. Let's be honest here, okay? It is about this game, all right? And you know this, and you can say what you want, but you know when you're hot. And they're not coming to Yankee Stadium and winning Game 5.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that. So
this is the Tigers' chance, and they got a legitimate chance today. I mean, if you're a Yankee fan, you expect to win, but they got a legitimate chance today because they got a rested bullpen, they got a good bullpen, they got some karma, and you got a Yankee pitcher today who, if he pitches well, is still only good for 5 innings. That's on a good day. A bad day, he could be out of there. We could see right over the 2nd inning today. I mean, that is a big problem. He can walk the ballpark in the 1st inning today, right? You know that.
Do you have any issues with Torrey? He kind of looks a little bit like a lump sitting in that dugout. No juice. Got any issues with him or not? At all or not?
Dog, I like that he gave Ernie a shot. I thought it was the right move. I don't know what he could have done yesterday with the pitching. I will say this. They look deader than dead, and it's about time. And listen, the character of this team has shifted dramatically. You want to go from it started Game 4 Red Sox? All right. I mean, you want to leave 2001 alone? You can leave even the Marlins alone. Game 4 Red Sox, this team is 3-9 in that game. But the team looks dead, and Joe doesn't seem to be able to prod it. And I'll say this. You got a lot of big guys there, and they don't ever seem to come up with the big hit in the big spot in these games. And I'm talking about A-Rod, and I'm talking about Sheffield. And I say this, Doug, and I really mean it. I'm not one to overreact to this stuff. But I firmly believe that if they lose this game today and go down quietly, there will be enormous. I don't care about salaries. I think there will be enormous changes on this team next year.
Yeah, listen, I can understand that, but I mean, who are you getting? Giambi's going to be back. He's making too much money.
I think they will force A-Rod off the team. I think that Giambi will be there. There's nothing to do with him. But I think Sheffield will be gone. I think they may rethink Messina. I think they will make a lot of changes. And I'll tell you something else. I would not, if this crash and burn happens today, and this will be one of the biggest upsets, I think, in recent baseball history, I think Joe could take trouble.
Oh, Piniella.
I think he blew out. I think Joe could go crazy off this one. This is a team they had. Everyone wrote and talked about how this team couldn't lose any series this year, and they're going to fall to a team that crawled home and was 19-31 in their last 50 regular season games. I mean, a team that could beat the Royals, they can say none of that matters. You know what? It does matter. And this team, listen, and no one in the world, I'll take all the heat. I don't mind that. I'll take all the criticism, all the heat. But but not a lot of people thought the Tigers had a chance to win this series. I'll take all the grief for knocking the Tigers. I'll take it for knocking Kenny Rogers. I'll take all the grief. I'll welcome it. And I'll admit how wrong I was. But the point is, there's going to be severe repercussions. Now, I'll tell you right now, I think you're going to have you had a great Friday night, probably the best Friday night, in the last 10 years, okay?
Oh, I did. I loved every minute of it.
And you're going to have a great Saturday morning, which you deserve, and you got your season tickets out in the bleachers next year for you and Dennis. But the point of the matter is, you're not getting luxury boxes, okay? I'm telling you that right now. But you're getting your season tickets to San Francisco. But I really think you're going to be at Yankee Stadium sitting in that little seat, and unhappy camper at 11:30 tomorrow night.
Well, let me ask you this. If they lose this game tonight, are you spending 3 hours on this Yankee demise tomorrow morning?
2 hours and 59 minutes and 1 minute on football.
Because this is the biggest, this would be an incredible collapse. To lose 3 straight to the Detroit Tigers, this would be as bad as it gets if you're a Yankee fan. That's all there is to it.
I totally agree. It's actually worse than the Red Sox collapse, which was historic. And also, it says something about this later group. And I'm not going to take Jeter and let him abdicate from responsibility because he was in the first group, or Posada. I know Bernie's not a full-time player anymore, but Mariano still does his job. But the bottom line is, the team, since the dynasty ended, has not responded. And if they lose today to this team, and are 3-10 in the postseason, then you start bringing up, hey, they do spend $230 million. For what? For what? I mean, really, you can bring that up, and you can yell out from the mountaintops, and everyone else can too, and this team becomes a colossal disappointment. Everything is about winning. Now, you can say, well, how fickle is that? Win, lose, it changes everything. Winning and losing in sports does change everything. One game changes your life in sports. Today is an enormous game. These next 48 hours are enormously important to a lot of futures on the Yankees.
All right, how many runs do you have to score today to feel comfortable?
7.
7, okay. I think at least. I think Wright will stink today, Mike. I think you're going to be very careful with that.
Dog, I don't disagree, and they have a pen, and they got some guys right now who are saying, you know what? We can make history here.
And I'll say one other thing. Don't trail middle of that 7th inning today, because that Sumaya is going to get you guys out.
Hey, I don't disagree. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they can't lose today. I would tell you this. I don't think they would lose tomorrow.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, listen, anyone who's pitching right on the road, game 4, can lose, okay?
Yeah. You think Joe will take a lot of hits today if Wright pitches poorly and didn't pitch wrong on 3 days rest?
I think he's going to take hits, dog, for everything. I think everything from game 4 of the Red Sox is going to come back to start to bite them in the rear end if they lose today. I really think people think it's unimaginable, and I love Joe, but I don't think it's unimaginable. I think, you know what, the manager gets the credit. He's also going to get the blame, and he will have been the steward over a lot of bad postseason performances in the last 4 years. And you know what? I think he's vulnerable. Now, I'm not saying he's going, but I'll tell you right now, if Lou wasn't out there, I probably wouldn't think the same way. But I'll tell you right now, I think he have to watch it the next month.
Good job, Mike. We'll talk to you later on this afternoon. Well done there. I think there is a possibility of that with Pinella lurking. No question.
Authority of New York and New Jersey. Your safety is our first priority. Since 9/11, we've spent more than $2 billion to enhance security at our airports, bridges, tunnels, seaport, and path trains. We've hired more police officers than ever before, and we've strengthened background checks for airport workers. We've installed new electronic detection systems and added hundreds of security cameras. To help pay for this added security, we're tightening our belts and cutting administrative spending. We've toughened oversight and accountability over our finances. We're reducing overhead and cutting $150 million in costs, and we won't stop there. We're hard at work finding more ways to cut costs and more ways to improve security. At the Port Authority, we know our first responsibility is keeping you safe. For more information, visit www.panyj.info. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Look what we're doing.
Morning, Bob. See, you've got your fireproof gloves on. Usual hot ticket? Yes, sir. Here you go. Jersey Cash 5 is one hot ticket with jackpot drawings every single day.
Just drop that hot ticket in this pail of water, Sonny.
Sure thing, ma'am. And if no one hits the jackpot, It rolls over to get bigger and hotter.
Just give it to me. I can handle it.
You got it. A lot of people win a lot of money playing Jersey Cash 5. So get a hot Jersey Cash 5 ticket today. How you take your ticket is up to you. Play Jersey Cash 5 from the New Jersey Lottery. It's one hot ticket. And it's even hotter now. Buy 3 Jersey Cash 5 Quick Picks and get 1 free. Look in this Sunday's paper for the coupon.
Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It seemed like an ordinary Giants game at the stadium. Then all of a sudden, this so-called Giant fan shows up, gets out a lawn chair, sits down, and starts eating an olive loaf and head cheese with mayo on white bread. It was a horrific display of tailgating. The next thing you know, the cops show up, and there's a chalk line where this olive loaf head cheese-eating so-called Giant fan turned into bling-wah. He was embarrassed to be there with just a lawn chair and the world's worst sandwich wrapped in foil. Holy flirkin' schnitt. Do we really need this before a big game? The WFAN Tailgate Patrol is putting a stop to this type of nutty fudgikins to make sure that if you're going to eat disgusting things, might as well look good doing it. Each week, the Fan Tailgate Patrol will be handing out fan freebies for people who really need help, like that freak of nature, and awarding prizes to those who have the best-looking tailgates. It's all from Jeep, only in a Jeep. Verizon Wireless, the official wireless provider of the New York Giants. Thumann's, nothing brings people together like a Thumann's. Thumann's Deli Best since 1949, and the home of Giants football. The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Looking for the very best in paint and decorative finishes? Start at the end. Rings End, now open in Branford. Just off I-95, exit 56, featuring Pratt & Lambert Paint in their spectacular new paint center.
New York's #1, Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
You know, one thing about Kenny Singleton, he had a very good career. We know that. You know, I didn't realize this. In the 79 playoffs, he was 6 for 16 against the Angels, hit .375, and then he was 10 for 28 in that 7-game series against the Pirates. So that means he was 16 for 44 in that postseason. That's as good as it gets. Now, the next, in 83, he played well. He did okay in the first round against the White Sox. But remember, no DH in the World Series. Only got one at bat when they beat the Orioles, when they beat the Phillies in 5 games. Let's talk to Nick in Hoboken, and he's on the Fan, and he's on Sports Radio 66. Nick, how are you?
Chris, what's up, buddy?
Hello, Nick. What do you have, buddy?
All right, so listen, I woke up this morning, October 7, 2006, and I said, you know what? I think today's a holiday.
It's a holiday.
It's Elimination Day, baby. It's Elimination Day.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
I can't wait to see at maybe 4:35 this afternoon, Jared Wright's line, 1.1 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, and Ron Valone is coming in to save the day, baby. It's Elimination Day.
There you go. How about Jared Wright at $22 million pitching to save the Yankee season and watch him get banged around in the 3rd inning? Oh, baby. And that is one Mike and I both told Cashman, you are making a terrible mistake. And by the way, speaking of my pal Brian, if the Corey Laddle deal was the key to Bobby Abreu back on July 31st, why isn't he pitching today? If the whole key to that Bobby Abreu deal on July 31st, everybody killed me for that interview, why in the world is Corey Laddle not on the mound today? If that trade was so important, and Abreu making $17.5 million next year, if he was so important in that deal, why isn't he off the board today? He's available. Bill in Jersey. Bill, what's going on?
Hey, Chris.
Howdy, Bill. What's happening?
I think at the time we all knew that wasn't true. I don't think you need to keep hearing it over and over. I mean, he's got to say what he's got to say.
But I got killed for that interview because I gave him a hard time on that very point.
Yeah, I guess. Of all things today, I'm on my way to see my family up in New England, all Red Sox fans. I can't imagine what it's going to be like. I mean, I thought you were bad, but they're going to be 10 times as bad.
No, you're going to have a tough time today. Yeah, you will. It will be tough today. It will be a tough day for you. If the Yankees ever fall behind today, I have a wedding tonight. A good buddy of mine, his lovely daughter, I have the Bellateri family. I got a wedding now. I tell you right now, and they are all huge Yankee fans.
I'm on my way.
He will have a rough night if the Yankees. I don't care about his daughter getting married or not. The great Diana. He will have a rough night if he's listening to me for 6 hours if the Yankees lose. I guarantee you that.
Now, why are they talking about Torrey being so stoic? I mean, are you there?
I hear you.
when they're winning, it was a calming effect. It was this. Now, why is everybody killing him now? I mean, that's how he's always been.
Well, you know what? Because they're 3-10 in the postseason since Game 4 against the Red Sox. And Lou does lurk. Now, listen, Joe, one thing about George. Steinbrenner does not pay managers $6 million a year not to manage. Does not pay him that kind of money to sit around and do nothing. And Joe's got a contract next year at $6.5 million. And he's not going to sit there, and it's not a personal service contract. He manages the Yankees. They fire him. George has got to write him a check. I don't think he's going to want to do that. Yankee first pitch today, by the way, is at 4:09. Not at 4:30 in your papers. 4:09, and it's on Fox. Keep that in mind, too. Here's Donovan in Brooklyn, Sports Radio 66. Donovan, how are you?
Hey, Chris. First time, long time.
Nice to have you aboard, Donovan. What do you have, pal?
Oh, man, I hate you when you talk about the Mets, but I absolutely love you when you talk about the Yankees.
There you go. That's what a good talk show host is supposed to do. Some days you like them, and some days you don't. Go ahead. What do you have?
Yeah, I just have one thing about the Mets. I think you're crazy if you think that Maddox is going to beat the Mets. He's a righty, and he's been absolutely horrible this year against them. But he faced them 3 times, and we know what he looks like. I really think it's over. I think it might be a 7-5 game, but as long as you get in that bullpen, I think it's over.
Well, again, I think the Dodgers have a win or two in them here. I think the Dodgers have had too good a season. They're resilient. They bounce back after losing 13 or 14. They bounce back after a couple of bad losses to the Pirates in the middle of September. I think the Pirates got one win at least in them. I really do. And you can't count on Traxel either. 9 in front of 11, Sports Radio 66.
WFAN, New York.
So this is the famous talking oil heater, huh?
This is it. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
Oil heater? How are you today?
Oh, jeez.
Please talk to Frank here, who doesn't believe oil heaters can talk. Tell him how efficient you are. Speak.
It's okay, Dave. You've been rebuilding the house. You're working night and day. You gotta
Talk to Frank.
Yeah, look, the new oil system is great, and it's great about the money you're saving. Look, maybe it's tired, huh? I gotta go.
Wait.
Just a little oil heat humor, Dave. I don't get out much, you know. Stuck in the basement here all day.
Not funny.
I'll work on it.
Find out more about today's oil heat at intelligentwarmth.com. Brought to you by the National Oil Heat Research Alliance.
The Allegiance deadline is upon us. This is your Miller Lite Man Law Update. I'm Carl St. Philip. Just in time for the start of the football season, the men of the square table have issued a deadline for all men. Under this new man law, all men are required to declare their allegiance to one football team before the start of the preseason. And in the rare instance a man must unexpectedly relocate to a different city during the preseason, tough luck. That's really too bad. In a recent interview, one Minnesota man put it best.
I used to do the flip-flopping between 3 teams, but this man law has cleared things up.
For great taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite, good call.
Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Live responsibly.
Every Sunday at the Fireside, 53 Broadway, Denville, New Jersey, watch the NFL Sunday Ticket on 13 TVs, 50-cent wings, and Miller Lite specials.
I can get Olympia oysters from Washington. I can get manzanilla olives from Spain. I can get cinnamon bark from India.
The world according to Curtis, food distributor, Bronx.
But getting my supply chain to work together smoothly, that's a problem.
Dynamic networking from the new AT&T makes collaboration with your suppliers easy and inventory management efficient. So you can get exactly what you need from anywhere in the world as soon as you need it and still over-deliver for your customers. Go to att.com/yourworld. att.com/yourworld to find out how the new AT&T can help deliver your world right here in New York.
I want more than a provider trying to be global. I want New York's global provider.
You want the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
Mavis Discount Tire has been saving you money for over 50 years. Now you can get price quotes and make reservations online at MavisTire.com. That's right. Select from thousands of name brand tires, then make a reservation, all from the comfort of your own computer. MavisTire.com. While online, check out high-performance favorites like the Dunlop Dureza DZ101 and the SP Sport Tire line. For enhanced SUV performance, find great prices on the Grand Trek AT20. Shop online. Compare prices online. Then set up a reservation at over 50 area locations. Go to MavisTire.com or call 1-800-4-TRACTION. That's 1-800, the number 4, then Traction.
America's discount tire store.
Because no business traveler ever said, if I could only stay awake for the entire flight to Dubai. Just one of the reasons British Airways now offers the most flatbeds to the most destinations worldwide.
Because sleeping fully flat is better than kinda, sorta flat.
Just another reason British Airways now offers the most flatbeds to the most destinations worldwide. Business class is different on British Airways. For more information, go to ba.com/clubworld.
You know, it's funny. Millions of drivers switch to Geico because of the savings. But you never know how good a car insurance company really is until you have a claim. That's why so many drivers stay with Geico.
There's Frank in Massapequa Park. Frank, what's going on?
Frank, good morning, Chris. 2 points, if I may.
Yes, Frank.
I'm a Yankee fan, and I'm nervous as hell. But this is what makes sports great. This is difficult. At 4 o'clock, our stomachs are going to be sick. I might have to pop open a cold, frosty one. But this is what makes sports great. Our backs are against the wall. Yep. It's gut-wrenching. It's difficult to watch, difficult to anticipate.
Yep.
But, if we come up with a run in the 8th inning in a tight game and come out with a win, it is going to be so exciting, so great. And that's what makes sports. That's what makes it great. Sure, it's difficult, and our stomachs are sick today. But this is what makes sports great right now.
Right now it does. So, by 4 o'clock today, the Yankee fan will be beyond Kenny Rogers. By 4 o'clock today, the Yankee fan will be beyond the idea that this A-Rod thing can't hit. By 4 o'clock, the dawn of a new day. 4:09 first pitch. I agree. Dawn of a new day. By 8 o'clock, you're going to be awfully cranky. You'll be throwing things against the wall. You'll be demanding managers' heads. You want A-Rod out of here. Don't re-sign Musina. You want them all gone by 8 o'clock tonight. It might be fun at 4. You got 5 hours to look forward to it. You'll be nervous, but it's a good anxiousness. You'll be raring to go. By 8 o'clock tonight, watching the Tigers celebrate on Comerica, very, very tough to take. And remember, if you're a Yankee fan tonight, and you're true as a Yankee fan, and that game is over, and that last stat is recorded, you sit there and you watch every last second of the Tigers celebrating on that field. You watch it. Okay? You watch Granderson. You watch Monroe. You watch Leland. You watch Inge. You watch Todd Jones. You watch everybody celebrate. You watch the fireworks. You watch the crowd. You listen. It won't be Buck today. It's probably going to be Brenneman. You watch Brenneman. You listen. And you watch. Watch. And you let that picture, which you've seen an awful lot in the last 5-6 years. You saw it at Bank One. You saw it at Edison. You saw it, well, you didn't see it here, but with the Marlins. But, you saw the Marlins celebrate. I mean, worse. You saw it with the Fenway fans. You saw it back in Edison again. And now you will see it in Comerica. And you Yankee fans, and this includes my pal Torrey sitting there in right field for INS. Blow up that 7:45 and 8:15 report, Steve. You watch that, and you let that engulf you. And you think about that. And you look and you stare, and you get frustrated. You get upset. You demand retribution. You don't talk to your wife. You kick away your kids. You throw the dog away. You get nasty. You get nasty. When that last out is recorded today, when A-Rod taps a roller to third, when that last out is recorded, and you watch the Tigers basically have a 20-year relief since 1987, the series they lost. Don't forget, in 87, they were great, and the Twins beat them in 4 games. You watch that, or 5 games. You watch that, and you let it burn. You get so upset, you can't watch the Giants football tomorrow. You certainly can't watch the Mets. You have no interest in anything. And then maybe by Tuesday, you can start to get yourself wrapped up and involved in Tigers A's. Yes. Tigers Athletics. What a baseball series that's going to be. After 72, the classic, Detroit and Oakland in that wonderful little park out in Oakland with the Hanks and Frank Thomas, that will be baseball. But tonight, at 8 o'clock, and it's not late enough where you can just close your eyes and go to bed. You got to entertain your kids. You got to entertain your wife who's going to say, it's just a ball game, who cares? But she's going to drive you crazy. She's going to want to be, let's go to a movie, let's go have a drink, we got a babysitter, watch, a replay of Law and Order with me. She's going to want to get cozy. And you're going to have that feel of Tigers celebrating in Comerica. So enjoy it for the next 6 hours. Enjoy it to 6:30, 7 o'clock. But once A-Rod tops the third, think of the pain. The pain. Mike McCann, Sports Radio 66.
Listen to Game 3 of the Mets and Dodgers National League Division Series with Howie Rose, Tom McCarthy, and Gary Cohen tonight with first pitch at 8:05 here on your flagship station for Imus in the morning, Mike and the Mad Dog in the afternoon, and New York Mets baseball. The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Jared Wright and Jeremy Bonham in the starting pitchers for ALDS Game 4 as the Yankees try to turn things around after 2 straight defeats to the Tigers. Jared Wright discusses his challenge.
In any game, regular season, postseason, it comes down to execution. How many mistakes you get away with, stuff like that. But, you try to limit that. You try to make your pitches when you're supposed to and, try to keep the ball down. I know I'm going to try to do that.
First pitch just after 4 o'clock. Oakland waits for the Yankees-Tigers winner after finishing off a 3-game sweep of the Twins. Yesterday's score 8-3. Both National League series resume today, and both could end today. The Mets are 2 up on the Dodgers. Our preview from the Fan's Ed Coleman.
The Dodgers led the National League in hitting with a .274 team average this season. They're down to .235 in the playoffs, something that doesn't surprise manager Willie Randolph.
Our guys were rested towards the end of the year. We finished up strong, and, only 2 games. We had a long way to go, but guys like Glavin, you can always count on them to step up for you. They've been there before, and we're looking for the same thing from Trax on Saturday. But our pitching's what's kept us in this situation all year long.
Veterans Greg Maddux and Steve Traxel match up in Game 3 as the Mets try to close things out. Mets Extra from L.A. at 7:25.
Cardinals, who won twice in San Diego, host the Padres. Jeff Suppan and Chris Young, the starters. A victory put St. Louis in the NLCS for the 3rd year in a row. Buck O'Neil, the Negro League historian and first African-American coach of the majors, passed away yesterday at the age of 94. Hockey, after shutting out Carolina 4-0 in their season opener, the Devils are in Dallas tonight. Rangers visit Philadelphia. Islanders are in San Jose. Football stories next. WFAN Sports, sponsored by Nissan.
Something big is happening at your Nissan dealer. Nissan's Fall Tent Event. For a limited time, look for big deals on every Nissan under the tents. Even the 2006 Altima 2.5S with a special edition package. Lease for $199 a month for 36 months with a $26.39 initial payment. Or the popular Nissan Pathfinder S 4x4 for $199 a month for 12 months with a $41.98 initial payment. This event is so big, it couldn't happen inside. The best deals on every new Nissan are under the tents. Lease the Altima 2.5S for $199 a month or the Pathfinder S 4x4 for $199 a month. 2 great vehicles, same great lease price. Something big is happening. Look for the tenths. Now through October 31st, Nissan, ship your ride. For well-qualified lessees, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-858-8319 for lease details. Offer ends 10/31/06.
Start it again. Rings in, now open in Brantford. Just off I-95, exit 56, featuring crystal and candlelight cabinetry and granite countertops in their spectacular new kitchen design center.
Fan 2020 Sports Time, 11:05. College football. Number 1 ranked Ohio State plays host to Bowling Green this afternoon. Number 2 Auburn entertains Arkansas. 3rd ranked USC hosts Washington. Number 4 West Virginia is at Mississippi State. 5th rated Florida entertains number 9 LSU. Number 7 Texas takes on Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Closer to home, Army hosts VMI. Tonight it's UConn at South Florida. And we've got Notre Dame Stanford football this afternoon on the Fan. Our coverage begins at 2. Coming up tomorrow in the NFL, Giants host Washington while the Jets are in Jacksonville. This report brought to you by JCPenney. Hey guys, the men's store in JCPenney has some great deals. Huge savings on their entire stock of sports shirts, casual pants, jeans, dress shirts, and tees. It's all inside JCPenney. Join Michael McDonald in a Hungerthon concert supporting artists against hunger and poverty on November 2nd at Lincoln Center. For details, visit www.worldhungeryear.org. WFAN weather, remaining cloudy today, the high 62, low tonight 50, sunshine tomorrow, warming up to 70. Current Central Park temperature 53, and that's what's happening. I'm Mike McCann with 2020 Sports on WFAN. Your home for the Mike and the Mad Dog program, weekdays 1 till 6:30, now streaming at WFAN.com.
Hey, sports fans, can you believe you're sitting on top of the next great sports bar? It's in your basement. That's right. Your basement. The Owings-Corning basement finishing system will turn your unfinished basement into the sports bar, game room, home office, or media room that you've always wanted. You might have seen the Owings-Corning basement finishing system featured on the 5 New York episodes of Extreme Makeover, Home Edition. In less than 2 weeks, the system can turn wasted space into a quiet, clean, comfortable bonus room. The system is mold and mildew resistant, and the walls resist damage from poorly thrown baseballs and splashing beverages. Best of all, the Owings-Corning basement finishing system gives you that brand new sports bar without the mess and dust of traditional construction. Call 1-800-NEW-ROOM. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOM, or visit newroom.com on the web. You can get a free in-home estimate and certified professionals to install the Owings-Corning basement finishing system. Call now and you can be entertaining in your new basement. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOM, or visit www.newroom.com for more information on the Owings-Corning basement finishing system. Nobody knows basements better.
Sports Radio 66.
All right, Sweeney's Yankee Report brought to you by Maniacal Car Care Centers. Right service, right price. The UPS store, don't you worry about a thing. And by Caraco Designer Suits at outlet prices. Sweeney's in Detroit. Obviously, game 4 in a little bit. And Sweeney, the Yankees look as tight as a drum. Give me your thoughts parading that locker room last night. What was your immediate impression when you walked out of the ballpark at 1:30 in the morning? Go ahead.
That's a great word, Doggy Tight. I mean, I look at it and I say the Yankees are playing with tension, the Tigers are playing with enthusiasm, and that seems to be the biggest difference here. You know, I mean, we talked about it before the series started about whether or not they'd feel any pressure. Well, excuse me, they wouldn't feel it until they got into a situation. Well, now they're in that situation. This is ridiculous. They haven't scored a run in 14 innings. They've moved one runner in 14 innings, and that's it. Everybody gets on base. They stay right where they are. The double that Posada hit in the 7th, they moved up in a ground ball, the next batter, and that's it. They don't get anybody anywhere right now. They need They need one guy to step up and lift them up right now because everyone's just so tight. I think it takes either a Johnny Damon or a Derek Jeter or both of those two types of guys to try and lift them up right now.
No, I think the Yankees, like we all did, disregarded Detroit, too. I know they can sit there and say all they want. Jeter made the comment last night. This team didn't quit. They got good pitching. They came back in the first game when we were ahead. Bottom line is, I mean, when Damon hit that 3-run homer, everybody in America thought this series was over.
Yes, you're right. You know, and you know, Kenny Rogers is the whole difference right now. I mean, we all saw the numbers. We talked about them. Every hitter in that lineup destroyed Kenny Rogers for his entire career. So no matter what happened in Game 2, you know you're going up against a pitcher that you know, you're not going to say it publicly, but you say, you know what, I own that guy. I'm going to get him. Well, you know what? He came out and got them last night. He talked about it post-game last night to being basically the biggest game of his life, putting everything. This is a guy who's won over 200 games. He has a World Series ring. He's thrown a perfect game. He talked about this being, you know, just everything, putting everything into this one game for his teammates, for his family. They had guys last night saying, I don't remember Kenny Rogers ever throwing 92 or 93, and that's what he was doing last night. Plus, he's got these sinkers and changeups that are coming in at about 80, 78.
those other types, the off-speed pitchers, are always what messes this team up, and they were just completely fooled last night.
No, they were. I mean, he really had it going. I agree with you. No, they hit a couple line drives early in the game. Abreu hit that ball out to center field. We just thought it might be a run. But, I mean, hey, bottom line is he got into the flow. He had emotion in the way he went. Who do you, if you have an issue with anybody last night, Jeter had a decent game, Posada had a decent game, Bernie almost hit a home run. I don't know where else you go. Who do you have a major issue with offensively last night?
I don't know if I can pick out one person, Chris, where you say, okay, this is where it broke down. It's not like they had rallies to kill. I mean, they had one guy on in basically every inning, and that was it. So they didn't really do anything. The interesting thing to me, Chris, is going to be now seeing, if Joe Torre said it before the series started, and he said it probably knowing that a situation like this at some point was going to come up. Now we got to know if he means it. Is Mariano Rivera only a one-inning pitcher?
No, I agree with you on that. Eighth inning today, 3-2 Detroit.
You got to find
3-2 Yankees, base loaded, 2 out. Mariano's going to pitch that inning.
Chris, I don't think...
that at bat.
You know what? I don't think he would have said it. I mean, he had to know that this situation was a possibility or would come up at some point. Maybe not this fast, but that it would come up. I don't think he would have said it knowing that he would have to go back on his word. I think, obviously everyone expects and Yankee fans want Mariano Rivera on the mound in the 8th inning if you've got a lead. I'm not so sure Joe Torre is going to go back on what he said.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think he'd start the inning. I agree with you on that. But I think if the season came down to getting an out with the base loaded and 2 out, I'd be shocked if Mariano in the bottom of the 8th was not in the game.
I'd be shocked basically on past history. Again, I don't think he's going to. I don't think he wants to go back on what he said. He made that commitment early on. It's not like he just waited till the situation came up and said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. He laid it out there before the series ever started, knowing that he's going to get questioned on it, knowing that the situation was going to come up at some point. I'm not so sure he's going to do it, Chris.
Was Sheffield annoyed that he didn't play last night?
Yeah, a little bit, but I don't think, I don't think it was anything disruptive. I think everybody, you take anybody out of that lineup, they're going to be annoyed. Sheffield gets a little more, a little more of the scope put on him because, he's had, issues like that in the past. But you know what? I don't think it was a major issue. I talked to him as he was coming off the field out batting practice. Yeah, I could tell he was a tad annoyed, but I don't think it was anything that he was going to let be a disruptive force.
Do you think Joe will go the Game 1, Game 2 lineup today? Do you think there's a chance he could play Cabrera in left, DH Matsui, and bench Giambi with Sheffield at first base? What do you think he could do today?
No, you know what? I haven't seen the matchup numbers today, but I got a feeling he's going to put the same 9 out there that did the first 2. I don't know that maybe he shuffles the deck a little bit, but I have a feeling it's going to be the first 9.
All right, and how about Jarrett Wright? You seen him all year. Listen, I've seen him a lot, from 97. I can't get out of my head 2 years ago. He killed the Braves. He killed them, and it was a bad signing. He's got a chance to make up for it with a big outing today. What do you think?
You know what? I don't know that Jarrett Wright's outing is going to be the difference maker here. I think he's going to pitch well enough. I don't think you're going to sit there and say he's not going to, put on a Kenny Rogers show from last night. If he goes 6 innings, gives up 3 runs, it's still going to be up to the Yankees to score some runs today, to do something offensively. And again, I think the 2 guys at the top are going to are going to be responsible for kind of setting a tone. I think Damon and Jeter. But I think here's one thing that it tells me, Chris, and I could be totally off on this, but the one idea that tells me maybe Jarrett Wright has a better chance today against this Tiger team, a completely undisciplined team. They swing early and often. Jarrett Wright doesn't throw a lot of strikes. I think maybe it could work to his advantage if they're swinging at pitches that are off the plate, that when he's normally, misfiring a little bit in the early innings until he gets into a groove, just a shot in the dark. I don't think his outing is going to be a difference maker either way.
Did you walk out of there saying last night, my God, this crowd was phenomenal, or did you walk out of there saying, you know what, typical crowd when they beat the Yankees?
I've seen crowds. I've seen plenty of crowds beat the Yankees, so they were pumped up. But it's a playoff. It's a playoff crowd. They were pumped up. I didn't say anything.
But it's a great sports town. It's a great sports town. They don't like New York, and it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And they got that Northeast mentality, that rough and tumble crowd, unlike say California. So I was wondering if there's a little more edge to them last night.
You know what, Chris? I think we'll find out if there's edge to them today, because the same time the Yankees are playing the Tigers, Michigan's playing Michigan State.
we'll find out what kind of a crowd they really are.
Well, listen, I understand the Michigan State game is a big game, but I mean that's a college. That's a college crowd. I got to think that 45,000 people in downtown Detroit, they'll be rocking.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to tell you they're going to be sitting on their hands all day. They're a pretty rowdy crowd. I can't tell you it's any different than any other crowd I've seen over the course of the last few playoffs.
All right, how about this Tiger team? You've spent a little time with them this last 5-6 days. Leland, they've taken their cue from him. They kind of got a loosey-goosey group. I don't see Granderson. I don't see Monroe. I don't see Guillen getting uptight. Well, what's your thoughts on the Tigers right now? You cannot be further away in mindset than last Sunday when they blew that game to the Royals than you can be right now if you're a Tiger fan. That last Sunday may as well have happened in 1988. That's so far ago. How about the loosey-goosiness of the Tigers tonight?
Before Game 1, Chris, I asked Gary Sheffield what Jim Leland is best at. Sheffield, of course, played for Leland on the Marlins in '97. He's talked about how much he likes the guy, and Leland has actually talked about how much he likes Sheffield, too. I asked him, what is Jim Leland best at? He said, motivating guys. He says, no matter what happens, those guys are going to be ready to play. Doesn't matter what happened over the course of this last week. He's going to get his team ready to go. So, again, it comes back. I had guys telling me in spring training they saw what a difference Jim Leland made. Like the first day, they're on back fields running drills to, running them into the ground. And these guys are going, what did we just get ourselves into? Leland did it. Leland set a tone for them back in February and March, and he's doing it again this week by getting these guys ready.
Bonderman today, what kind of performance you expect out of him?
You
saw him at Yankee Stadium. He wasn't that great that day. What do you expect out of him today?
They've beaten him a couple of times. I don't know that his outing is going to be anything outstanding one way or another. I'm not expecting.
You expect 9? What kind of game are you expecting today? 6-5?
Yeah, I'm expecting. Yeah, exactly. I'm expecting maybe a.
One loss isn't more of a loss than another one. We haven't gotten the job done.
Polanco fields, throws to first, in time, ball game over. American League Division Series over. Tigers win.
Sports Radio 66 WFAN. They're talking sports, going at it as hard as they can. It's like a mad dog on the fan.
Everybody! How are you today? Tigers and Athletics tomorrow night. Let's play 2. Good afternoon there, Michael. How are you, pal?
How about that Giant defense? Boy, did Tom do a job.
Yeah, exactly right.
Had him ready to play.
Oh, they were flying.
Shut down the Redskins.
Who cares about Shockey? What a job on a football
absolutely. All right, tough game for the Jets. Okay, McNabb, very good.
We're going to lay off
little
that
football.
We'll lay off that game, too, if I know.
Oh, what a weekend.
Oh, how about Mike's?
And that music, that is the Poseidon. This was the Poseidon adventure this weekend.
Oh, goodness gracious.
This was, I'm going to tell you, dog. Game 7, Kevin Brown, Johnny Damon, smiling that side. We saw him smiling this side.
We'll get to that later. What a clat's ridiculous.
But nothing annoyed me. I don't know why. Nothing in recent memory annoyed me as much as Kenny Rogers. I sat there and I said, you could have asked the Yankees. They would have picked him over 300 different pitchers to pitch against him that night. They thought to a man, to a stadium, to a state that they would beat the hell out of Kenny Rogers that night. That game, you get back to Messina game 2 and what he didn't do for his money, which I totally agree upon. You could talk about them not hitting late in that game and giving the Tigers a little breath and a little confidence to take back to Detroit. But there's not a person in the world, and I don't care if you thought that Randy Johnson wasn't going to get the job done. I don't care what you thought. That's where this series really just went right off the tracks. The idea that that pitcher would do that to the Yankees and then couple it with what was the most listless, lifeless, and frankly, quitting performance that they showed on Saturday. I mean, that was a disgrace on Saturday.
Oh, it was a disgrace.
I mean, the guy's in the 5th inning against the New York Yankees throwing 36 pitches. He's throwing 6 balls. I mean, that performance on Saturday was like...
Damon was impressed, though. He loved it.
Damon loved it. Damon, I'm sure, had a good time in the dugout. Look like he did. But the point is, look, this team not only lost, they lost in such bad... Now, there's no good losses. We understand that. But with no fight, no heart. And I do want to take especially Jorge Posada out of Saturday's activities and Fridays. But the point is, this was as bad, sad failure for George doesn't even cover it. This was as bad as anything. I understand we all have egg on our face for picking the Yankees. Listen, there's not a human who thought the Tigers were going to win.
Martinez notwithstanding.
Okay, that thought the Tigers were going to win. I mean, come on. The way the Tigers finished the season, I don't care how many games they won. They limped home. Only Tampa had a worse record in the last 50 games. The team was awful. And the team looked awful in Game 1. It looked awful in Game 1. It looked overmatched in Game 1. And for that to sit there 4 days later, and have the Yankees out of it is almost unfathomable. And it is very hard to take. And I'll tell you, there's a lot going on. We'll get to all of it today. But I'll tell you, some of these rats, they can't leave the ship fast enough. I mean, to have what's going on here.
Sheffield.
Lytle. Gary Sheffield, who moaned and groaned when he was out of the lineup, despite the fact he was 1 for 8 and can't play first base. I mean, listen, Don Mattingly's a great player. And he's a good coach. But how he ever thought Sheffield could play first base? Sheffield's awful at first base. I understand Giambi's not going to make anybody,
he made a huge
forget Don Mattingly.
And Giambi made a huge error there on Friday night.
But Sheffield stinks. He can't even catch a throw.
In trouble.
And his footwork is atrocious. And he went 1 for 12 with 4 strikeouts and 8 men left on base in the series.
And how about Corey Lytle?
Absolutely nothing. And Corey, who the hell is Corey Lytle to get on anybody? You shouldn't even be here. Corey Lytle, Sheffield has always been about Sheffield. He has no loyalty to anybody. The only reason he fought back is because he didn't have a contract for next year. For him to throw Torrey under the bus, to me, is Sheffield being Sheffield.
And he got on him pretty good in USA.
And I would not expect him to do anything except be Sheffield.
Weird
Corey
day.
Lytle. Corey Lytle. You don't have a right to. You don't even have a right to wear the uniform. No less open your mouth. Get out, get lost, goodbye.
We were out of
Dog's right. Dog got beat up in the summertime when I was on vacation about Corey Lytle. Dog time to be right about Corey Lytle.
Hey, listen, he was not the reason why they lost. The game was
no, but enough for him, too. Who needs him out? He mouthed about the Phillies when he left there. He's got mouthed about the New York Yankees. Who the hell is Corey Lytle?
Yeah, that's sweet. I got goosebumps all over the place.
All right, where do you want to start?
Well, I mean...
What part of the misery do you want to start
Well, let's do the big picture first.
Okay.
And that is Torrey.
Right.
I will say this. Listen,
And for some strange reason, Dog, who gets on Torrey
I love him.
more than me.
I
likes him personally, but likes to get on him. Joe will come around the corner.